Bicycle Network Victoria is a not-for-profit organisation, and today our guest is CEO Alison McCormack. We'll also be chatting to some members of the 2024 Stable One charity ride team who depart on their 350-kilometre journey this coming Wednesday. Welcome, Alison. Great to have you this morning at Monday Matters.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
We've got a few things to get through here this morning, but I want to take you right back to your first initial stages of when you actually got on a bike. Can you recall that experience?
Look, I can. I was the youngest of 5 siblings, so there was always a whole variety of secondhand bikes to use for me. And I think the first bike I ever got on, it was red. I can't recall the brand, but I grew up near Whitehorse as well. So I grew up near the corner of Whitehorse and Union Road and lived on one of the white concrete streets that ran parallel to Union Road. And I never forget that street. So much happened. So many firsts happened on that street, but it was definitely my first bike riding experience as well. So it was 100% in Grovedale Road in Surrey Hills, and that was my first experience. And from then there it took off. I rode to school every day and have enjoyed bike riding ever since.
And now you're the CEO of Bicycle Network.
I know. Absolutely amazing, right?
What a great bike ride you have had.
Okay. Oh, absolutely.
Now, the iconic Great Vic bike ride, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, will celebrate its 40th anniversary in November. Is that right?
I believe.
And Around the Bay will clock up its 30th anniversary in October. Tell us about what's all going on there.
Look, it's a huge year for us, the 40th year of the Great Victorian Bike Ride, and we're going back to where it all began. The first ever bike ride was, it started in Wodonga and came through to Melbourne. So we'll be taking on a fair bit of the same route that your charity ride will as well, because we're starting out in Wodonga, and then we are heading down, we're going through Wangaratta, and Murderford and then Mansfield. So I'm assuming maybe you might even be taking that amazing rail trail. I don't know what you're doing on your ride, which I'm interested to hear. And then we're heading down to Alexander, Marysville, and then we're actually finishing on a closed Black Spur Road this year. So that'll be an opportunity to ride that on a closed road and in Healesville. So it's going to be a huge year this year. And we're learning a lot about the history. A man called Alan Dial actually documented the first ever Great Victorian Bike Ride, and he had this huge get-up that he towed on the back of his bike on a trailer, which was a massive video cam, you could imagine, and this huge battery and all of his kit. And I'm kind of trying to find him actually. I think he's still here, and we're still trying to locate him because we'd love to use his footage because we've had some great insights on it. And we're also working with Charlie Farron, who was one of our first presidents, who's got an incredible collection of bikes, and she started the Great Vic really in her time, and absolutely incredible. It had celebrated the 150th year of Victoria, I found out, and that was the first ride. And it also commemorated a ride where 2 gentlemen rode across Victoria on a penny farthing. So we're going to have a look at some fun stuff to do, and everyone caught the train up to Wodonga, and there's all these images. So we're definitely working on some special moments on the 40th Great Vic too to commemorate that.
I've never done Around the Bay, and it looks like huge. Done maybe half of it, okay, from Sorrento back. But what's happening with that this year?
Look, Around the Bay is, we made some big changes last year because I've actually ridden it. I think I rode the second ever Around the Bay. It was my first big ride, and I got this road bike and I did Around the Bay, and I got the medal and my name in the Herald Sun. I never forget that, looking that up. And so last year we made some changes because, we'd seen a shift in Around the Bay and people feeling that the freeway wasn't as safe as what it should be. And, we are about getting more people riding bikes. So what's that progression into your bike riding journey? So what we did was we closed the lane of the freeway for the first time ever, down to Geelong, and made sure that lane was swept And that was probably the biggest challenge, to get that laneway swept, because we all know that shoulders on roads, and, particularly even on the cycling strategy, strategic cycling corridor, the maintenance is at best poor. So we needed to make sure that it was safe to get around. So we got the entire lane swept through Vic Roads, Department of Transport and Planning. So that was a huge win, and everybody commented on that as well, how great the road was. And then at the other end, we wanted to make a family ride. We wanted to make a big showcase to show, that this is your pathway into riding. And what's a great reflection of getting people on bikes is getting all your families to participate. So what we did was we finished at Albert Park there, and we worked with Parks Victoria to close down the Grand Prix circuit for the morning. And so we had a car-free Grand Prix circuit where we made that our family ride. We usually had it on the road, and it met the 50K ride and the 100K ride. And I rode it myself the first year as the CEO, and I thought, I've done a lot of rides in my life, and this didn't feel that safe, actually. So I think we've got to change this. So next year we took that family ride off the road and put it on the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit, and families did 3 laps of the Grand Prix circuit, and we have a child who was a DJ playing music, and they had little stickers that they would collect each lap. And it was a great change. Kids rode for free, and it was just a really wonderful addition to the event. And I think it's a showcase. We want to bring down media this year to go and showcase that, what's going to change drivers and people's attitudes. Well, it's including family and fun.
Alison, the First Nations Support Fund, can you tell us about the impact of this fund?
Yeah, absolutely. We on the Great Vic, there's a gentleman, Graham Buckley, and he's 86, and he's been riding the Great Vic for many, many years. And I'm not sure if anyone here's been on the Great Victorian Bike Ride, but he was a teacher. He was Melbourne based originally, and then moved to Alice Springs, I think maybe in the late 80s. And he was in community there at Alice Springs, and started raising funds to bring Indigenous students down on the Great Victorian Bike Ride. So he did that for many years on his own back. And the first year as CEO, when I came in, he didn't bring any students because he said it was post-COVID. The costs of the airfares were astronomical, and he couldn't bring any students down. So we were working with Graham to keep his legacy going and to keep his program going. So we started up the First Nations Fund. And last year we raised enough money. We raised around $10,000. So we funded 6 students and 2 women from the community, as well as supporters, and 2 teachers as well, to come on the Great Victorian Bike Ride last year. And these students were from community. Santa Teresa is the community. They actually do a bit with Melbourne Football Club, but very remote. And these kids don't go to school. They're lucky to go to school 1 day a week. That's attendance for school for them. That's what it looks like. So to come on the Great Victorian Bike Ride, we did focus on female students. I'm quite passionate about getting more women riding as well. So we did focus on female students coming on the ride. And in order to do it, they had to attend school at least 4 days a week and sit their exams. So they had all done that. We actually only did it 3 months out by the time we got the program up, but the students all attended school for 4 days a week at least minimum, and sat their exams. So it was a big shift for that, and I love those outcomes. And then actually on the event, it was pretty special as well.
There's no doubt, Alison, that bike riding does create a lot of connection and a lot of community. And there are a lot of wonderful projects and rides that are happening all around the country. And today I just want to bring into the conversation some members or the team for the 2024 Stable One charity ride who are about to venture on a quest to ride 350 kilometres, and I'm going to bring in Debbie. In fact, Debbie, to tell us exactly what's going to be happening this Wednesday.
Good morning, Alison and Ian. Hi. We're travelling from Wangaratta to Tallarook. We're travelling up to Wangaratta, and we're cycling through Beechworth and Mansfield and other places. Alexander's one of them, and we're ending up at Tallarook and then travelling home again on the Monday.
And how are you feeling about it, Debbie?
Oh, excited. Thanks. Yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's great. And Peter, you're going to be joining the team. How are you feeling about riding those 350 Ks from Wangaratta to Tallarook?
Well, I tell you what, I'm very, very excited. It couldn't be a better time of the year. The beautiful autumn colours of the northeast, the magnificence of mountains and rivers, and the whole thing is going to be exciting, as well as having a great fun with the group. And because we've trained together, we know each other a lot better than we did before, and it's just going to be enjoyable to share our experiences as we go along, and just check out everything that's as we go along, and just love it, I think.
Fantastic. Now, Alison, you've heard some of those sentiments coming from Debbie and Pete. How do you feel about these guys venturing out this week?
It brings a smile to my face. So there's nothing like riding a bike and a personal challenge to do the 350 kilometres and as a group. It's so much more than just the bike riding as well. You're in it together. You're raising funds for an incredible charity, which is absolutely wonderful. And we all know it's so much more than just the bicycle. It's your mental health, your physical health, and the communities. And I'm sure each night where you rest your head, there'll be some stories from the day to tell. And I'm sure those stories will get bigger if you happen to accompany it with a beverage.
And we're hoping to raise upwards of $100,000
Wow.
to build 11 affordable, safe and supported homes. It's a part of a Stable One, combining with some other organisations to do this build. And we've got our CEO, in fact, of Stable One here today, Jenny Willetts. Jenny, I'm just going to bring you quickly in on the conversation as well. Jenny, how are you feeling about this project going forward?
I think you guys are amazing. I just think it's great. Ian's done a really good job of not just getting the bike riders together, but organising everything in each town that you're staying in. And I know that when you get to each place, there's churches who are going to be there supporting you, and there's Rotary groups and Lions groups, and there's a whole lot of it's a big event, and I think you're doing a really great job. And I'm watching the money come into the account, which makes me really happy. We have a fair bit to raise, and it's just great because it's bringing a whole lot of other people and raising awareness of the need, I think, to build affordable, safe housing, and with community built into that. That's it's all about community. So I think you guys are doing a fantastic job.
It's not widely known, although for some areas it is, but we've got over 120,000 people in this country of Australia that are challenged by having their own place to call home. So this project can just have some impact on ameliorating that or mitigating that, then I think we're going to be really happy with the outcome. Our time has gone today. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Alison, for being our guest here today at Monday Matters. And can I encourage membership with regard to Bicycle Network Victoria, because they're advocating for better, safer riding conditions for all of us. So by being a member of Bicycle Network, we're certainly adding towards that cause. And we do wish all of the bike riding team a safe journey. And Debbie and Peter, thank you for your contribution today as well.